Shared Disk for SQL Server Failover Cluster, GitHub Availability Report, Debug on WSL2 from Visual Studio, and more. This is the M&AN Show. Hello everyone, and welcome along to a new episode of the M&AN Show, where we talk about the news on Microsoft and Azure. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Just click on the subscribe button below if you aren't subscribed already, and turn on the notifications so you will not miss any other videos I will post. Before we start, I have an announcement. The M&AN Show will become a monthly appointment instead of a weekly one. I made this decision because I want to provide more relevant and insightful news to you, and doing it on a monthly basis will allow me to do so. But don't worry, the M&AN Show is not going anywhere, it's just rather becoming better. First news of today is about Azure Shared Disks for SQL Server Failover Cluster Instances, FCI. SQL FCI has been used for years for protecting SQL Server instances because it can provide you automatic failover and redundancy against hardware failure, application failure, OS failure, and so on and so forth, while fairly simplifying configuration of clusters. Before this announcement, it was basically almost impossible to lift and shift SQL FCI clusters to Azure because of a lack of a shared disk infrastructure that SQL FCI relies upon for high availability purposes. But not anymore. In fact, Azure Shared Disks can be attached to multiple VMs in a Windows failover cluster, so to protect the SQL FCI instances. And you can use the premium SSD shared disks with SQL FCI 2016 and higher versions, and the Ultra SSD shared disk for SQL FCI 2019. We can really finally say that Azure Shared Disk for SQL FCI enabled the full lift and shift to Azure for the most commonly used HA configuration on-prem. Check the link in the description below to see how to configure that in Azure. Next, let's talk about Form Recognizer. This service, part of the Cognitive Service Suite, is an AI-powered form extraction service that literally understands your forms. It's been in preview for a while, but now it's finally GA. You can now extract text, tables, and key value pairs fast and accurately from your documents, both in the cloud and on-premise, and with just a few samples, the service is able to train its model and understand your documents even better. It supports multi-page documents in form of images, PDFs, and TIFF files, and it extracts a structured representation of both the file and its content. This is a huge improvement. I used to use this service in the past when it was still in preview, and it worked quite well, but now it has been taken to a completely new level. Well done, Azure, well done. Let's now move to the title news, introducing GitHub Availability Report. Historically, GitHub has published post-mortem and post-incident review for all the major incidents that affected availability. But now the company is taking that and making it a consistent and in-time report. On the first Wednesday of each month, in fact, GitHub will publish a full report of the availability for the previous month. And that will include any incident that happened, how they affected the overall availability and service stability, and even most importantly, they will update you on what they are doing in their engineering system to not only solve those problems, but to prevent them from happening in the future. You should expect those reports to include not only what happened, when, and what they are doing to solve those, but a deep technical explanation on how to prevent those things so engineers all around the world can take advantage of GitHub experience and expertise in solving those problems and maybe apply them in their systems. The availability report for May and June have already been published, so check the link in the video description below to have a look at them and see what happened. Last news of today is about WSL2 and Visual Studio. As we probably all know, WSL2 is the second version, the newer version of the Windows subsystem for Linux, which basically allows you to run a fully flavored Linux kernel inside Windows. This is especially useful for sysadmin and of course developers. But until now, you could debug your application on WSL2 only if you were using VS Code. With this announcement, the .NET Core debugging with WSL2 extension is available, which means that you can debug your .NET Core console and web applications inside WSL2 within Visual Studio in Windows. And this allows Windows developers or developers running on Windows to debug and connect to their Linux application or Linux targeting application from within their IDEs to maximize the compatibility and the user experience. And it is super easy to use. Just install the extension, and you find the link in the description below. Open your project, select WSL2 as launch profile, and press F5. That's it. This is super cool and of course super useful. Alright, that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing if you aren't already and hit the like button below. As I said before, this was the last weekly appointment with the Min Show because it will become a monthly event. But don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. As I said, starting from next Friday, I will have a new technical series of videos for you. So be sure to check back for them. Thank you very much for joining me today, and see you soon at CoderDave.